Welcome to Watchat, where we chat about watches and other facts of life. A couple of weeks ago, I did a comparison video on all the watches in the Street Fighter series. If you've missed that video, I'll share a link in the description below. Today, I'll be doing an unboxing on the watches in the Street Fighter series that I've bought, and a shout out to Jam for requesting a Lume shot on these watches. I'll be showing that at the end. Cue intro. Let me start by saying this. I did not buy all of the 6 watches in the Street Fighter series as I find some of them a little bit too vibrant for my taste. As such, I'll only be doing an unboxing on a couple of them here and maybe say a few things that I've not said in my previous video. In my last video, I did say among all 6 watches in my books, I think Gerald wins for being a watch that resembles the character well, a good-looking piece, and a practical watch. Hence, naturally, I've got Gerald here. Now, let me first remove the sleeves that was not supposed to be sewed together with the box. So here we have the Seiko 5 box, which is pretty sturdy looking, pretty huge as well. As I remove it, you will see in it is the case, and underneath it, it is the watch manual, the warranty manual, with the certificate of guarantee card in it. Of course, with a limited edition watch, you need a limited edition case, which is what we got here. The case here is all black with some rose gold lining on the side. The Seiko 5 logo can also be seen at the top of this case in rose gold. As I open it up, you will see the watch is well protected with an additional sponge to make sure that the watch doesn't move around. Again, inside the case, you will see the Street Fighter 5 logo. As you can see, I've not even removed the tags and stickers on the watch. The stitching on the back of the strap isn't perfect, but the front looks perfectly fine. All the watches do not have engraving on the crown, but have holes on the lugs to help remove the strap. I really like the camouflage dial on this watch. The reflective surface of the dial changes color as you move it around. What looks like dark green changes to light green, vice versa. The rehaut on this watch is also green. I also like the red tip on the second hand, which gives it a slight contrast on the watch, and the stainless steel surrounding all the numbers and the date window. The height of the bezel is just right for it to have a good grip. In case you can't tell what's written at the bottom of the dial, it reads 4R36-08L4R52. Because this has a day-date function, the day and date changes at different intervals. At position 1, you rotate the crown clockwise, it will change the day, and when you rotate it anti-clockwise, it will change the date. But when one sets the crown at position 2 and change the date using the minute hand, the date begins to change at 10:30 p.m. with a quick snap at 12 midnight. Because there are 2 types of display on the day, i.e. abbreviation of the English language and a Roman numerals, the day will have to change twice to have it set to its preferred display. In other words, if you have already set to display the day in the English language, say TUE, which is a Tuesday, the day begins to rotate only at 12 midnight. At 1 a.m., it will have completed its turn to the Roman numeral 2. As you continue to rotate the crown, at about 2:30 a.m., the Roman numeral 2 begins to change, and at 3 a.m., it completes the change to WED, which is a Wednesday. The day-date rotating system applies the same to all the other watches. I find this watch the easiest to wear compared to the rest, as it could match most of the clothes I wear. The other watch that I bought, you may have guessed it, it's Ryu, as it is my favorite character. Instead of boring you with the unboxing again, let's just go straight to the watch. The stitching on this watch looks fine and the color matches the strap both front and back. What this shows is that the quality on the stitching isn't consistent. With this white dial and the white rehaut, you can see how deep the dial is from the sapphire crystal. The writings on the bottom of this dial is slightly different. It reads 4R36-08G4R52. On this white texture dial, you can also see that these writings are written on a flat surface before it is applied on the texture dial, unlike the word automatic here. Now, the date window on this watch is only a cutoff of the dial without there being any stainless steel surrounding it. 2 out of 6. You would think that that's a reasonable acquisition, wouldn't you? Well, here comes Chun-Li. The bottom of the dial writes 4R36-08M452. The surrounding of the date window has a stainless steel on this watch. The last thing that I failed to point out in my previous video is that it has an additional lume on the rehaut on the 12 o'clock position. It's pretty small, so one might just miss it. The rest of my comments on the Street Fighter series can be found in my comparison video that I've placed a link at the description below, so please do check it out. Now, about the Lume Shots. I've used UV lights to test the lume out. However, the use of UV lights won't reflect an accurate color of the lume. Under UV light, watches like Ryu, Chun-Li, and the 12 o'clock mark on dial may look blue, but in actual fact, they are green. Whereas the use of black lume on Gao's hands, the dial on Ken and Zangief, they remain green but not as bright as the others. Another thing to note from these Lume Shots is that under the UV light, you will see a color difference on the day and the date for Ryu, Chun-Li, Gao, and Blanca. The reason why the day looks slightly bluish is because the disc on the day has a glossy surface and hence it reflects the UV light, whereas the disc on the date does not have that gloss and has a slight hint of off-white, which can only be noticed under a magnifier. This only happens on watches that have white backdrop on the day date. Hence, watches like Ken and Zangief that has a black backdrop on the day and date won't have that effect. If you like this kind of video, please share, comment and subscribe to support me, and I'll really appreciate it and promise to upload more videos like this. Until the next one, thank you for watching.